had to redo that live because I was in my event and it was making the music was really really loud, right? So you guys couldn't hear me. Listen. Oh my goodness, Jamaican people, you are something else. Get your facts straight before you turn on your lives, please. First of all, congratulations to the guy named Kez that won the Grammy. But guys, the Marleys did not produce that album. We're, and you know that it's so embarrassing because that's such an easy thing to find out, right? That is such an easy thing for you guys to just look up. It's not hard. It's not hard. You have a phone. You have a computer in your pocket. Look it up before you turn on your lives and say stupid things like that, giving misinformation like that. Don't do that. Right? That's number one. Right? The foolishness that I'm hearing. You know, I realize a lot of you don't understand the difference between the Grammys and the Billboards. The Grammys is a completely different institution. A different institution, and you don't understand that there's a mold that people have to fit. Not because Vybz Kartel didn't win, that means that he doesn't have the cultural influence. Okay? I did a live on that. You need to check it out yesterday, but I'm going to break it up because I know a lot of people, they can't sit down for 2.5 hours to listen to a lesson. That's fine. That's fine. I'll break it up for you guys. But listen, another thing, Masika did not win a Grammy. Can't believe the rubbish that I'm hearing. Like, honestly, people, honestly, listen, congrats to Masika for being co-credited on a song that was one of many songs on an album that won the Grammy. I'm not taking anything away from Masika. Yes, he co-wrote the song. When you look up the credits, you can see it, right? And when you look up the credits, you will also see that it wasn't the Grammy, it wasn't the Marleys that produced the album for Kez. Okay, I don't need to stop talking these foolish and I mean, I don't understand how you're not embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for you. I'm embarrassed for you. I don't know how this is not. I said, don't get up, be serious. Don't get up, be serious saying these things. Come on, we need to do better than this. We need to do better than this, Jamaican people. Please, please, let's do. Like I talk about us in such high regards. You really need to do better than this. Okay, Masika did not win a Grammy. Congrats to him. He co-wrote the song. He has credit for one song that is one of many songs on that album that won. So kudos to him for that. I'm not taking away anything from that. But for you guys to go around and act like us and talk about him winning the Grammy, he didn't win a Grammy. Okay, you know, my Business of Dancehall playlist has become way more important than I thought it would. And I'm going to have to break it down for you guys because I realize a lot of you guys don't understand the difference between the Billboard and the Grammys. The Grammys is an institution. Do you know how long it took for hip hop to be accepted in the Grammys? As a rule, Grammys wait until a genre is safe. It's really an institution. I have friends who were judges on the Grammy. One of them I actually interviewed before, Brandon, right? Not this year, right? But years before. And I have other friends too that were judges on the Grammys. There's a certain mold that they have to fit. Not because Mr. Palmer didn't win, and not because that album that he submitted didn't win takes away from any influence or takes away from any impact that he has. So what? He never win, him try again. Right? The Grammys cannot dictate who is culturally relevant to our music. Our music, especially dancehall, is an outsider music to the Grammys. Right? Please, please stop going around. I had to, this is where I had to laugh. I laugh. I can't say this cannot be real. Please stop going around saying that the Marleys produced the album. That's why Kez win. Please stop it. Right? the Marleys did not produce that album. And you know what's that's the thing that hurt me. Because the same phone that you turn on to go live and shut off your mouth is the same phone that you could use and just do a simple search. right? Unless you're purposefully just trying to make misinformation. I don't know why you would want to do that. Why would anybody want to, why would anybody want to do that? The man did not produce that album. The man produced the album mostly himself. You can see who is the engineers. You can see, all you have to do is just look. That's all you have to do. It is the height of carelessness and laziness for you to go around saying these things in public. It's madness. Right? It's madness. So anyway, congrats again. And I'm not taking away anything from Massacre. Congrats to Massacre for co-writing or getting co-credit for one song that was on that album. Okay? These are facts. And I'm going to have to break down the difference between the Grammy, right? Hi, Clip. See me in my car because I went live before, but the music was so loud that people couldn't hear me. Because afterwards, when I was playing it back, I was like, I can't even hear myself, so let me do it over. Right? Congrats to Massacre for being a part of that album, but Massacre did not win the Grammy. I'm gonna stop it. Right? And I need to really break down the difference between the Grammy Awards and the Billboards, because I never see a set of people that love to run with misinformation like this. It's madness, guys. We have to do better. You have to do better. Please do better. Right? Do better. And not be and Cartel not winning the Grammy, don't take anything away from him. Of course you'd be happy if he won. Of course, that would be great. But it didn't take anything away from him. It didn't. So all of you people going around talking about A.K.A, it's you don't understand what the Grammys are. It's an institution and there's a certain mold that you have to fit. Okay? And he can try again next year. It doesn't make him any less culturally relevant, or less culturally impactful. It doesn't. If you understand the Grammys, you'd understand that. So do some work before you turn on your live. And you know this is the thing. This is another thing that I realized, right? People have a bad mindset, whereas y'all love to talk about freedom of speech and freedom of speech this and freedom of speech that, but you don't understand that there is such a thing as freedom of thought. Okay? Yes, you're free to think what you want to think, but you're free to think right things. Don't just run off with what people's telling you and jump and go with it. Right? Freedom of speech is important, that's true, but so is freedom of thought. Don't believe every foolishness that you hear people say. I keep telling you this, a lot of crazy people have phones, right? And they turn on the phone and they talk a lot of foolishness. I'm not calling any names, right? But before you run off with what somebody says, okay, have your own freedom of thought. Check out things first. Don't just run with something just because you hear somebody say it. Check for it. Check on it yourself. Right? Because you are going to be the one that look like an idiot. Yeah, just me today. I laugh. I couldn't believe it. I said, no, these people must be trolling. They must be trolling. Anyway, big up on yourself. And that's what I have to say for the recap of that Grammys. Just my reaction to the reaction. Right? But yeah, no, but seriously, I'm going to do a live on the institution of the Grammy. So maybe you guys can understand a little bit more, right? That it is an institution, okay? And there's a certain mold that you're going to have to fit, right? Okay, because the peers that are judging are not necessarily our peers in a lot of ways. Okay, these are facts. Anyway, bless up. Yes, Clip. That's what I'm gonna do, Clip. I'm gonna do it. And I'm probably gonna have a couple of my friends who are judges on the Grammys to come and give like real perspective. You understand? Because we're missing something here, right? We're missing a lot. And the worst thing about it is, pardon me, one person run with the misinformation and everybody run with it. Clip, I laugh, I laugh, I laugh, I laugh, I laugh, I laugh today, I laugh, I laugh. I said this cannot be real. Come Jamaican people, we have to do better. We have to pull up our socks because it's not just us watching watching us. All right, it's not just us. All right, bless up on yourself. Bless up, Clip. I'm going to drive myself home because I have a long day tomorrow too. Bye.